Good afternoon. Welcome to Linda Sue Plants for You. I'm sorry I've been kind of AWOL for a couple of weeks. I have some pretty serious health issues that I deal with, and I know that I have said several times that I will be sharing my story somewhere down the road, and I'm just not ready to do that right now yet, but I will. In the meantime, I try really hard to keep a upbeat, positive spirit and just keep moving forward with life and hoping and praying for the best. So, but that is why it's been a couple weeks since I have done a video. I have got lots to do, my friends. I've got plants that need to be repotted, many of them, and today I'm going to be working on well, I'm going to start with anyway, hopefully, this dish. These were started from leaf cuttings months and months ago. And some of them were doing okay, some of them are very stunted, as you can see. And I just want to give them a new home. I'm going to repot these. I'm going to add some fresh soil and fresh plants to the arrangement. And send it home with my granddaughter, who also loves, one of my granddaughters that loves plants as well. So let's get started. I know that in one of my past videos too, I showed you these. I had a package of these that I got at our Dollar Tree. They were 4 for $1, and I use these on my tinier pots, where just if I have to pick up soil to put in the pot, this just works so much better than my hand. And the other day I was there again and found 2 more sizes, which I grabbed, and I got these 2 for $1. And you know, they're cheap, they're sturdy, and they clean up nicely, and I just love them. And again, I got them at the Dollar Tree. So we're going to use the bigger one today. And as you all know, that those of you that are following, and by the way, you guys, if you like my videos, please don't forget to subscribe. I get a lot of views, but I would appreciate your subscriptions as well if you want to see me continue to do this, and I know a lot of you do. So please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and a thumbs up. It does help me. Okay, and for those of you who have been following me, you know this is my old dirt container. If I'm repotting something that I have recently repotted with my own soil, and the plant just grew too fast, I'll outgrew the pot too quickly, and I know that the soil is good, and I know that there's nothing going on in there as far as bugs or fungus, I will then reuse the soil. But that's pretty rare. Usually, by the time I get around to repotting something, I feel like the plants have already used up the nutrients and that the soil is becoming more and more toward just being dead dirt. And we want to give our plants the optimal conditions. And I do believe that's one of the problems with this. This has been in this concoction here for quite some time. And as you can see, it's very hard in some spots, so the water's not penetrating and getting where it needs to go. So, alright, getting started, I'm just going to loosen up the soil and take these plants out. And set them aside. Being careful not to destroy the root structure. This is so hard here, I'm afraid it's going to break off, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm really handling this very carefully. And the soil is very dry. Couldn't really get any drier. I like to let my soil dry out when I know I'm going to repot something, because I always feel like I have to water my plants after I repot them, and I know that if they are already moist when you do that, that you can overwater real easily. So I try to let them dry out pretty good. And as we can see here, there's not much root structure on here. And I didn't bring my scissors. I'll be right back. Okay. I'm going to cut this piece off. As you can see, that's dead and has been dead for a long time. So that's got to go. Now I know at this point some people would say to leave this air out and callus over, but actually it's so dead it's already callus, so I'm not going to worry about that. We're just going to go right ahead and repot this, and we're going to pot this as well. Alright, so in goes this old dirt. And I am going to go wash out this pot because I don't like using dirty pots. I will be right back. Thank you for your patience. Okay, now we start with a clean, fresh pot. Now the soil that I'm using is the same soil I use for almost all of my plants, which is regular potting mix. It is the Miracle Grow brand, but I'm not fussy as to what brand it is. I've used all different brands and they all seem to work about the same, in my opinion. So it's potting soil, peat moss, perlite, and I have added worm castings. I used to use those years ago and I forgot about it. And it's been popping up on other videos quite often recently, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to go back to using that and see if it makes a difference. But so I did put some of that in there as well. I'm going to get rid of this. And hopefully you can see it. Now I have to kind of figure out the arrangement. I'm going to start with the bigger pieces. Can you see that big long leaf there? That is where this plant originated. It was just a leaf cutting that I set on top of that soil, and it grew this plant. That was about 6 months. It only has one little root on it, so I'm not quite sure how it's got all that growth, but it does. So I'm going to leave that leaf on there because it's still green, and I don't want to disrupt that root. I think we'll put that there. And then she wanted one of these. So we're going to put one of those in there for her. And that's got a pretty solid root structure, so I'm going to put that. And this is one that I also rooted. from a single leaf. Very sturdy, tight growth. We're going to put that in there for her. And then these little guys that I've had rooting for quite a while. And they are ready to come out. So I'm just going to squeeze the pot. Try to keep it together. Oh, look. Whoops. This leaf is completely shriveled up. But look at the roots. So I'm not sure if I should... You know what? I'm going to keep that and I'm going to repot it. And see if I can get a new plant out of that. Oh. And we've got another one. So we'll hang on to that one as well. Okay, so this one's going in there. Just going to loosen it up. See a little bit of roots on there. The white that you're seeing in this bowl is, I had an issue with fungus gnats a while ago, and I used the diatomaceous earth. It's a very fine white powder. And that's what you're seeing coming off of that plant. It is effective, but it is messy. And when it's wet, it clumps up. And so it's not my favorite method, but it does work. Okay. As you can see how this is clumped up on here. I think you can see, hope. And that was from that. When that diatomaceous earth gets wet, it clumps up. I mean, it comes apart again, but that could be part of the reason why these are still so small. They should be much bigger than they are right now. And I'm going to zoom in a little more. I think I'm maybe a little too far out. I hope that's better. There we go. Okay. I had one more that I had rooting for her sitting on my sink, and that's this one. There's a Kalanchoe tomentosa right here. That's the panda. And this one is actually from the Black Knight or Black Prince family. That was started from a leaf, and you have seen that in my previous videos. My original plant is huge. It's about 9 inches tall, and then it's got vines growing down the side that are probably 20 inches long. It's really an unusual setup that I got with that. I'm thinking some people probably would have cut the ends off and rerooted them, but I just wanted to wait and see where it would go, because I like the excitement of the strangeness of what we can do with our plants, or what they will do if we just leave them alone. So anyways, all right, this is going in there too. Now I've got a little piece of string of pearl in there too. I might as well just set that on the top because it has a root. That must have fallen in there out of my other plant. But why not? Okay. These little tiny ones I'm going to put in at the end, but for right now we're just going to stick these all in here. And I'm not sure. I think I don't really want it to be in the middle. For those of you that have been following me, you know I'm kind of asymmetrical with things. I don't really like things to be even. So I don't know, what do you think? I think maybe it should go off to the side. Yeah. Let's do that. And I think this will be down the middle. That'll work. Now the only problem that I'm thinking is that that dirt might not come up high enough. I hope it does. Ooh, it's going to be tight. Well, we can try it. We'll see what happens. If it doesn't hold, then I might have to cut it off and reroot it, but I hate to do it because it's such a healthy specimen. I'm just going to build up the dirt around it. And I know it's not a good thing to ever, when you repot, you never want to put that dirt, that soil line, higher than what originally was, because you run the risk of rotting the stem or the trunk. But in this case, it has roots coming out this high, so I think it will be okay. And that's how we're going to do that. Alright, and then the next biggest one would be this one. I think I want to put that right there. And this one we'll put right here. I hope you all had a really wonderful Memorial Day weekend. We had absolutely gorgeous weather here on, I think it was Saturday. It was right around 70, maybe low 70s, upper 60s in there, and just a light breeze. No humidity, no dew point. Very dry, so we didn't have any mosquito bites, which is almost unheard of for where we live. And we had our kids over and grandkids, and I wasn't able to do much, but I could at least enjoy their company. And we had chicken on the grill, and Papa worked on the granddaughter's car and the daughter's car that day. That's what he does. He's such a good husband. and Grandpa. Yeah, and he's a good mechanic. So that saves us a lot of money. Okay, I'm making a little bit of a mess here, aren't I? I'm going to stick these little ones in and hope for the best. And you're probably wondering why I have that scooper right next to me and I'm not using it. I only use it when I really feel like I have to for whatever reason. I really like the feeling of soil on my hands, and I like playing in the dirt. Okay, I think we need a little more over here. Because although it's getting to the top, we all know, or should know, that soil compacts when it gets wet. So it looks good now, but it won't be in another week or two. But I'm going to keep this here until I know that everything is rooted well and on its way to back to growing again before I let her take it home. She's still kind of in the learning stages, and these can be very tricky. Oh, I wanted to tell you too, since I switched to all LED bulbs, my electric bill actually went down, and I've added about, I have total 19 lights running for 12 hours a day. And that's probably about 10 more than I used to have. But because I switched from regular incandescent and fluorescent to LED, my electric bill actually went down, even though I added another 9 or 10 lights to my plant world. So for those of you that are contemplating that, it's a great idea. I'm so glad I made the switch. And yes, they do cost more. I mean, I remember spending $12.88 for the last 2 bulbs that I bought. But not only do they save on electricity, but they last for years. So it's well worth the initial investment. And the plants love them. And they don't create heat. So it doesn't add heat to your home in the summertime when you don't want it. It doesn't burn the plants. Okay. These are pretty tiny, so they're kind of hard to work with. I think I'm just going to end up spraying this. I'm not quite sure I'm going to water this without disturbing what's happening here. I'm working on my outdoor plants too, trying to, it's been neglected for several years due to those health issues of mine, but I made a promise to myself that if it took me 2 months, I am going to try to straighten that out this year, and so far, with the help of my family, I've been able to do that. So I am hoping to have an after. I did take a before video of my outdoor space on my porch, and I haven't put it on YouTube yet because I want to have that. I want to have the after video following it right away, so you don't have to search for it and wait for it and what have you. Okay, that looks, I think, pretty good. We have a few more I'm going to stick in here. And that is going to be my snowball bush, my peony, my hostas, and then some random plants that we picked up for very inexpensive at Lowe's. Or, I'm sorry, those were from Menards. The peony we got from Menards. But anyway, you'll hopefully get to see that soon. We had a lot of work to do out there, and I don't believe we are going to get everything done that we wanted to. My husband's working a lot of hours right now, and it's just a lot. We got a lot on our plate, so, and he really, you know, he's 65 years old, he should be retired. So, when he has time and the energy, which is, he never sits still. He's always doing something, fixing something, making something. He will be sanding down the porch, hopefully for the last time for us, and putting a coat of Thompson sealer on our porch, and repainting the railings. We've got some chipped paint going on there that needs to be sanded off and painted. It's not real bad, but before it gets bad we want to address it. And then in addition to that, we're going to throw another coat of white paint on our wicker furniture, so it helps to keep it from deteriorating from the weather. Kind of a protective coating. And I am hoping that I will have the strength to make new covers for the cushions for the chairs. I have made covers for those chairs every couple of years for many years, and for those of you that saw the video where I explained that we tried so long, so many years, we tried to plant plants on the south side of our porch because the sun was so intense that every year it would fade out my cushion covers. And I said, oh, there's so much work. But you know what? We finally found something, and it's called, and I'm sure you're all familiar, it's honeysuckle. And my goodness, that thing has just taken off like you wouldn't believe. I cannot wait to film that and show that to you. It's so intense that the other day my husband said, maybe we should run a cable from the porch to the tree that's nearby, and it'll grow over that, and we'll have like a little, you know, archway there. And I said, yeah, that would be really nice. They produce these beautiful yellow flowers, and they smell absolutely out of this world, the aroma from the honeysuckle. And, you know, they don't stay in bloom for real long, maybe about a month. But then we have the shade there on the south side of the porch. So I am going to try to make those new cushions this year. So wish me luck on that. And hopefully you'll get to see all that when it's done. All right. Okay. Now normally at this point I would take my little brushes that I've shown you in several videos, and I would go through and get all the dirt off of these. But because there is such a shallow root system, I'm afraid to even touch them and knock them back out. So what I'm going to do this time is just spray them with water and hope that the bulk of it comes off. And then I'll let them sit for a little while, and then tomorrow morning I'll give them all a good watering, because it is so dry that I do believe they need a good water. But I don't like to water late in the day, so we're going to hold off on that. And then tomorrow, when I can put it in full sun, I'll give it a good watering, and hopefully that'll do it. A few more little pieces here I'm just going to stick in there randomly. Okay. Oh. Should we put our little string of pearls there too, just in case? See what that guy does? I've got lots of strings of pearls going on, folks. I'm really hoping I can get some little pots done up for you guys, and I'd like to have a giveaway for those at the end of the season here, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully I'll be able to do that. Alright. Okay. I think we're pretty much done. I hope this was enjoyable for you, and if it was, a thumbs up would be very much appreciated. And again, if you like my videos, please hit the subscribe button. And if you want to be actually notified, you won't be notified even if you hit subscribe. You won't be notified unless you hit that bell. And I watch most of my videos on my Roku TV, and there is no bell on there. So if you're looking for that on there, I don't know if you're going to find it, because I can't find it. I do see it, however, on my desktop computer. So that is where I go when I want to subscribe to somebody and when I want to be notified of when they put new videos out. Okay, so I hope that helps you. And I hope you enjoyed this. And please wish us luck. And soon this will be going to a new home. I hope you like it. And stay tuned for my next video. Like I said, I've got many coming up. Many things that need to be repotted. I got a few more new plants, I think, since I talked to you guys last. And I have something really special here that I'm going to be doing with my pink polka dot plant. It is just growing like crazy, and I'm going to take it out of the pot that it's in and put it in a long pot with a trellis thing that it can grow up, because I think that will be a really neat look. So stay tuned for that. And I'm still looking for the string of hearts plant. So if anybody out there knows where I can get one of those, please let me know. I know that I have seen some plants that are on my wish list at different places, like Logi's and some other places. But in order to be put on the waiting list, you have to do all your personal information. And I'm just, it's not that I don't trust them, but I'm old school, and I'm a little uncomfortable putting that all out there. So I would prefer to just be able to buy it outright and not have all that information in there. So if anybody knows where I can get one of those in southeast Wisconsin, I would really appreciate letting me know. I'm also looking for the begonia